So the enemy team Cloud9's it. Alright, sometimes my mouse stops working. That's okay. Happens to us all. Okay. So honestly, this map might be our best bet for MEI. This map might genuinely be our best bet for MEI because there's a lot of narrow spaces that we can just wall off completely. So that's actually very strong for us, go figure, because we're just really good at controlling space. We also have our nice Hanzo, good Sonic Arrow, gives us good setup, nice shot. And honestly... So what I would be tempted to do in this situation is after, especially after like the Genji goes through. You can see the Genji's gone through, I think the Hanzo's also gone through, and the Lucio's going around the back. If you put a wall here, and then everyone just runs onto the point, or alternatively if everyone just starts running at them, you've basically split their team in half, because 3 people are over here. That was a... What is that? That isn't a 3. 3 people are over here, 3 people should be over here, because we've seen the Genjo, we've seen the Hanzo from the Sonic Arrow back here, and Lucio's back here as well, coming in this way. So they probably have a Mercy over here, which means that they are split in half. Which means that no matter what decision your team makes, it's pretty much the right one. Honestly, you'll probably just ignore, I'd say ignore these 3, move on to the point, take control of the point, and just punish the shit out of this Genji. Would be our best bet, but we absolutely want to be making use of the wall to control this space. And even in instances like this, like, if you think about the space that you're fighting in, I'm going to draw it over here. This is the space you are effectively fighting in. Okay? Like, that's that planter thing there, that's the pillar in the middle, and then there's like the little area down here, but who cares about that? What you'll see is most people will be sort of bouncing around and just rotating around the main point, and you'll see fights generally kind of be rotational around the central pillar as teams use it for cover. What you can do is, we are now here. If we put a wall over here, it just heavily restricts the movement that they have. For example, if you put the wall there and Reinhardt and you just run at this Orisa, the enemy team cannot come in and support the Orisa. That's a terrible arrow. Like, to come in and do that, they're going through another choke point. And so we've controlled that little bit of space, we've isolated a key target, and we've got a kill on it. We're just making it difficult for them to do things. We could also, and I think this is what actually ends up happening, is just get rid of this guy. But the problem with doing that with Hanzo is that he can just climb up the back of it and then go up here. And just like, you've just given him high ground. Is just not good. He's a Ben Kenobi, he enjoys high ground. I think we just want to be using our wall a little bit more aggressively. I'm perfectly fine with us freezing D.Va, because a frozen D.Va cannot defense matrix, so she's effectively useless. See, we wall off the Hanzo, but Hanzo doesn't really care. Like, he just takes a couple of steps left and then either moves on top of it, which will be even better for him, I think, or he takes a couple of steps left. This will be another great instance where we could put the wall down, for example. Cutting off this area here, where then Mercy's sort of stuck off to the side, so we are literally, again, splitting 3 people over here, 3 people over here. Hey!
Prime think too long. Don't know why it took so long to drop it here.
Thank you, the Grey Lensman. It is appreciated. It's a beautiful use of that Twitch Prime. If you've got Twitch Prime, make sure you are using the subscription. It's a regular subscription. It helps pay my bills, basically. Here we learn a valuable lesson. That the wall does not get us to high ground. I mentally did not know that for certain. I was reasonably confident, but the wall does not take us to high ground instantly. That was also a bit... I think this... no, I'm okay with this ice block. We haven't been healed in like 3 weeks, so I'm okay with us using it. Also, the fight's sort of winding down. We should be worried more about what's on the point, though. So rather than going up here and trying to contest anything on the high ground or trying to contest things off the point, we're honestly better served hunting down like this Mercy, for example, rather than trying to deal with this Hanzo. Why is that? It's because if we clear everything on the point, then everything off the point has to come onto the point and has to come into our team. Therefore, we have a little bit of an advantage there. It also Mercy is just a very high value target to shut down. If she's used a Guardian Angel, we start landing freeze on her. It's very easy for us to go and get the kills on that target. So, yeah. And then unfortunately, feels bad, man. It's happened to us all at one point or another. We've all been there. you do have a split second. Feel free to use it. The faster you do it, the better, but accuracy pays.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Nice Genji ults. Now would be a great time for us to be there. We have Blizzard as well. So actually, let's go over this actually. Let's go over what I'm doing at the moment, because what I'm doing is I'm trying to assess what I'm going to be doing next. My main focus is this, okay? We have the Blizzard almost ready to go. So what are my choices going forward? What are my options as I go in here? Well, I've just had Genji's use Dragon Blade. Okay, so they've just used a very powerful ultimate. They've got a couple of kills, but they get rezzed pretty much immediately. We've lost our Reinhardt, which is a bit of a shame. So I'm looking at this. And even as we're just coming around the corner, like we have no real indication of how the fight's going. I know that, hey, we've got 2 corpses on the field. Mercy's used her ultimate. They've used an ultimate. The point is still contested. What do I do? My first thought right now is literally, let's build up a Blizzard and stall. Don't use it, just build the Blizzard. And then honestly, I wouldn't even be engaging out this far. I would just be hugging either this pillar or finding a corner. Ice block. Wall. So I definitely wouldn't be doing this, and I would just be finding a corner and walling myself in that corner. Like, probably putting it about here. That way I can stay here, Mercy can top me back off, then the wall goes down, I can buy time, ice block again, and keep this contested, because then what we can do is get reinforcements coming in, try and get all 6 people back, then I can Blizzard somewhere on the point, and then we can win the fight. There's no way that a direct engagement here will work, because it's 1 versus 3, right? It's simple mathematics. And especially playing Mei, Mei's not a hero that can do a big swing like that. Woo! Woo! I like the fact that he goes around it.
Like we have no heals.
Like we have no heals. That's more the team's problem than anything. They're just scattered all over the place, and as such, someone swaps to Symmetra. Pitching out healers. This is a great opportunity. So when you see something like this happening, again, probably the most productive thing we could do would be to put a wall here. So that if Mercy decides to try and run that way, she's just literally face plants again, and then Reinhardt gets a free kill. Like, it feels like we are not using the wall nearly enough. We're relying so heavily on our right click that we might as well be playing McCree or Hanzo or something like that. And that's more of how we're playing it. That's a scary button for them to press. That's a good Earth Shatter that kind of saved our Blizzard. So why is this a bad Blizzard? So I think we pressed Q now. We had no idea that this guy was going to Earth Shatter. One of the things with Blizzard is this. It has a relatively fast travel time now. It's moderately fast, so if you basically throw Blizzard at your feet, it will probably land before a D.Va, for example, can react. If you throw it any kind of distance, D.Va can react to it, and can just defense matrix, and she's even... No, that's just her shooting. If you just defense matrices over this way, she will catch the Blizzard and delete it. That's your ultimate gone and done, and that feels really bad when that happens. We do want to Blizzard this, or just wall it off, and honestly, I'd say walling it off would be the best idea. I think the Reinhardt's done something a little bit silly, where, because there's a Mei here, I see this, and my reaction is to just go, wall. Because if they're doing this, then that's a big commitment by their team. If you get that wall up, and then just run onto the point, Blizzard at your feet, like find an opening past the D.Va, get a Blizzard on your feet, and then get round it and kill this, you are in a really strong position, because you've basically nullified any of the DPS that they can do. The end result is, hey, it kind of works out regardless, and then D.Va Bomb also goes off, so hey! Ultimate economy, who the fuck needs it? Okay, we're fine, we got ice block, no worries. An interesting wall. We definitely want to be closing in on that, and there's no point trying to engage a D.Va at long range. Freezing D.Vas is so much value. So honestly, just running at that would have been perfect. Like, we should just run at this. And also, it'll get us out of line of sight of the Hanzo as well, which would be nice. Let me do a brief speech about ultimate economy as well. I think this is one of those unfortunate cases where 3 people press Q at exactly the same time. I think the D.Va's the last one to press Q, so most of the blame falls on D.Va's back, but... Oh, and then both Hanzos decide to throw it in as well. The Hanzo's a little bit excessive. The Hanzo definitely should have Dragon Struck there. That Blizzard's just... That wall is just very rushed. Like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to spend that moment getting the perfect wall off, because if you get that wall there, this D.Va's going nowhere! Got you for 3 minutes! Bone saw is ready. Anyway, sorry, I always default to the bone saw and walling people in. And so we would have her caught, and then we just run up to her, freeze her. Again, there's nothing that she can really do if we run at her. Like, D.Va has to rocket boost away. Let's get in. Again, why are we right-clicking? If we're left-clicking, she can't block us. That's a scary noise. I'm okay-ish with how, like, what we are doing now, but... Oh, so this is okay. Especially because their team doesn't take any initiative, so we can just wait. We definitely should have shot that D.Va. So when you look over there, you can see that the D.Va's over there. We can see Genji's corpse literally landing in front of us. It's such a free kill! Oh, feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. Otherwise, that was just unfortunate of getting caught in. I'd say, ideally, just with like this situation, like when you hear this Dragon Blade going off, the ideal, I would say, is just to wall this. Because basically what you're doing there is, if you think about what's available to attack your team at the moment, you have this, whatever this is back here, you might have something over here as well, and you've got the Genji Dragon Blading. If you just put the wall up, and also there's like a Hanzo over this way, if you just put the wall up, you're basically saying to their team, yeah, we'll deal with you later, we've got other shit to handle. Go and handle that other shit first, and you can come back to this, and then you have the ice block available for when you need it. I know we're a bit worried about being on low health, but I'd say that that would work out a little bit better. We get lucky, Hanzo gets a good kill, their Hanzo gets a good kill. Finally. We are forced to respawn. Run back in. Been a bit of a brawl on the point. Wow. The value reses, ladies and gentlemen. Both Mercies picking up the Hanzo players. Lol. LOL. I'd say also this is very textbook trickling. Like, the team's just been non-stop trickling in, but it's also a mixture of bad target prioritization as well. Like, no one's killing anything efficiently, so everyone's just surviving long enough to make this happen. This was actually quite funny to watch. Because we can hear the hit marker landing, we know that we can actually hit it through this. And so we actually get the kill on that. I thought this was really nice. So I actually really do like the wall here. I'd say that, yeah, you want it pretty much about where you put it. Perfect. Because what we can do then is, even if we couldn't hit it through there, like, when I was watching this, I was just like, please, for the love of God, just run into here. Because if you run into here and crouch, you'll probably just be able to shoot it regardless. But because we're using the left click, you can hear that the hits are registering. That tick, 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 tick. And so you can right click and just delete it. I thought that was hilarious. That was just like, holy shit, the Orisa must feel completely silly. Again, we should be doing damage during this period. I don't know why we ice blocked there. We are on 304 hit points. There is no reason for us to be backing off here. We honestly should be causing them problems by just running through here. Like, we have 325 hit points. They have a vulnerable Mercy. They are vulnerable from the back. They have nothing that can stop us doing stuff. Like, the Orisa's a bit scary, but the D.Va literally cannot stop us just freezing people to death. We should be using this. We should be using this to deal damage. Instead, we're doing all this stuff where we are not dealing damage anymore. And then we're sort of focusing a target that's very, very tanky with the Fortify up. So we're having trouble there. Now we definitely want to be thinking about our Blizzard. Like, what? Why are we stopping fighting for a second? We need to be doing this DPS. This lack of damage coming out from your team is part of why this game has gone on for this long and has been this way. We should absolutely be thinking about our Blizzard now. Because the D.Va is shooting, we should be looking for it. And it's just, again, one of these cases of like, we need to be using this blizzard. We have to be using this blizzard. What we should be trying to do, in my mind, is one of two steps. Step number one, okay? This will be my grand plan. Try and get over here. Because again, if you think about the map, I don't want blue, I want red for this, just to make it pop. So again, if you think about the map, as it is, let's pretend that this is like the seaside area, and then you got like the two pathways over here, whatever, okay? Then you got the little bit here. So if you think about where their team's currently occupying sort of this area here. And they're sort of folded around the point like this, okay? That's where their team is. This nice sock. We are still about here. At this point, actually, we're probably a little bit further back, but we can get about here. And so if you think about where the ideal blizzard would be, it wouldn't be here because they could just very easily sort of push further back this way. They could very easily just push out and just get away. Looks like a face. Anyway, sorry, distracted myself. So they could just push out. But if what we do is if we just run in, nothing is really there to burst us down and stop us doing this. The Hanzo could maybe do it, but with a shield generator, we're fine. We're like, nothing's gonna blow us up really, except maybe the Hanzo I think might still be over here. And honestly, fuck the Hanzo. He's a low priority target. The only thing that we're really scared of is where the D.Va is. So if the D.Va's like jotting around, what we've been seeing is the D.Va is currently I think stood about here, but she's machine gunning away. So A, we cannot throw Snowball. Like, we cannot throw it, because if we throw it, she's going to catch it. And if she doesn't catch it at this level, then you'll hit a level where they will catch it, where the D.Vas will be good enough to do just that. So what you can do is instead just run up and throw it right at the floor. Throw it at your feet. Make sure that we're trying to catch as much as possible, because what we're doing at the moment is we're just sort of moving around the pillar, maybe putting a little bit of left click on someone and then hiding again, and then putting a little bit of left click on someone and then hiding again. And our team lineup doesn't have enough real damage, especially now that she's done that. This is the opportunity. Now is the time. Good. Get on the Mercy. Mercy's exploded. Self-destruct. That's actually really nice for us. Got to finish the D.Va. Actually fine with us going on the Hanzo. We gotta right click on the Genji instead. I wanna... Brother, no! There we go. I love that. Okay, so it does pay off, but this needed to happen about 10 seconds earlier. Now they've thrown a sound barrier away, which is great for us, because they've basically lost this fight. This fight is done. We should honestly just go back to left clicking. Like, with sound barrier, we want to get that single right click. Poor Genji. But we want to be getting the left click back, and honestly we should probably either be going on this guy or we should be going on the Genji. The Hanzo, not a big threat, not a huge threat, just throwing that out there. The Lucio, pretty huge threat. Like, he's just keeping their team alive, he's making it harder for your DPS to do stuff, he's making them move fast. Definitely want to be getting on this Genji. If we can freeze the Genji, we're ace. And honestly, the Genji's going to have a very hard time killing us. Again, we have that shield generator, it takes him 2 swings and a dash to kill us. We can actually freeze him in that time. And because we have a Symmetra as well, our freezing is going to be so powerful. Nice attempt. Good right click. I'd still say you're probably better served with the left click. Like, we get a bit lucky in that she lands right in front of us. Just left clicking her, setting her up for someone else to get the kill on. Perfectly fine. Yeah. And I'll actually address this now, because I've just seen Vlogos type it in chat. Hello, Vlogos. It's a silver Hanzo, no threat whatsoever. That should be part of your thinking, but part of it is also... It's not so much based on the rank, it's based on what we've seen from the player so far. Like, that judgment call that I made regarding this Hanzo wasn't because he's silver. It's because of what I've seen from what we saw on, like, the first half of the map, where he was just doing nothing. He was just sort of staying on high ground, wasn't landing shots, wasn't a huge threat. Because if you just assume that, oh, well, it's silver, I mean, the problem with that attitude is this. I could say that about a lot of you guys. Like, if we were fighting in 1 versus 1 or whatever, or in a team fight situation, and let's say you were playing Soldier and you're in gold, I could go, oh, well, it's a gold. Or, oh, well, it's a diamond. Or, you know, I've seen pros, oh, it's a master. And, like, just have that very flippant attitude, and I don't think that's healthy, and I don't think that's fair either, where sometimes people can come out with surprising things. And I know it's partially humorous of, oh, it's a silver Hanzo, Hanzos are all shit, but it's also just being able to judge, hey, this Hanzo hasn't been doing very well, my target priority should probably be on the Genji, or something a little bit more active in these fights, something that's been doing a lot more work. So just sort of getting that priority and getting that prioritizing down it's a skill that's worth learning. Okay, I was being sarcastic. I know you were being sarcastic. I know you were being sarcastic, but it is a point worth talking about as well. You know, it's worth mentioning, because there are people out there that genuinely do think like that, and so Poe's law kind of comes into effect. This is a golden opportunity for us. Holy shit. Actually, I'll just say it because it's my stream, I can say it. So they've made a really stupid decision. They are pushing through the narrowest choke on the map against the MEI and Symmetra. MEI and Symmetra really like choke points. We almost have a blizzard. Honestly, I would be feeling perhaps a little greedy, but I think this might be, perchance, the best choice we can make. Run forward, get through Orisa's barrier, get some left click damage, or maybe a right click onto Orisa. If you can get a headshot, you'll probably do it instantly. And then just chuck a blizzard here. And they are all dead. All of them. Wipe them out. All of them. Because there's no way they can escape that space. And then Symmetra could just run in, or put a right click in. Or Hanzo could put a dragon through it, maybe. No, that's their Hanzo. Feels bad, man. Left click this, left click this diva, build an ultimate. Also an option. Absolutely an option now. We really want to just get through this barrier and put that blizzard in. Come on. Do it. Oh, Hanzo's done it already. Hanzo's just soloing your play of the game. Now we don't use it. Now, moments passed. We could have taken that initiative. We could have taken that initiative. So I think we are underestimating how tanky we are, especially with the shield generator on point. We are underestimating how durable we are, and sort of underestimating the damage output that their team has, where their team can't actually do anything. Oh, for fuck's sake. So, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed for two reasons. One, this is a really shit diva ult. It's terrible. Like, there is no reason why this should work. Because she's just thrown it at the enemy team. So... And then this numpty has died to it. Like, why? Why? Why have you done this? I need to get a soundboard with that on it. Seriously, I say it often enough. The problem with that is this, okay? If a team fight now happens and D.Va gets demech'd, she has to manually rebuild her mech. She will not have the bomb. If a team fight starts and we need the D.Va ult, it's no longer there. It's staggering to me. It's the equivalent of if we just threw Blizzard out there and killed one person. And it's just not worth doing at the moment. It's just not worth it. It got the D.Va mech as well. How did it kill a D.Va? How? Okay, real talk as well. We have a moment of indecision here. We could absolutely put a D.Va wall here, just a wall here. You can see the Genji trying to escape. His only escape is that way. We want to capitalize on our advantage at the moment. We could also wall off the Orisa so we can just focus on threats from this side. We could be doing all of these things. Instead, we opt to spin around in a circle and get a headshot. Okay. Let me... MLG music. 360! No scoped! Beautiful. Okay. Jokes aside, we're actually okay. We could be advancing on this Orisa maybe, or just making sure we're in a position where we can get the walls up. I'm fine with us sort of hunting down a little bit on this Mercy. We could absolutely put a wall here. And I know Genji could just climb over it, but the time delay it takes him to go up and over the wall means that we have time to freeze him. Which means that this is just a free kill. Always leave the target slightly as MEI. Just how her aerosol can works. But that could absolutely have been a dead Genji. Instead of just having him run away, we could freeze him. Okay, they're going to start running in. We aren't in position to block it. That feels bad, man. Wait for the D.Va mech to come off. That is actually a good blizzard. The reason why that is a good Blizzard is it basically buys you all the time in the world. I would say the one thing I would say is, okay, so with this Blizzard, what it means is the enemy team can't get onto the point anymore. Like, they can't move onto it, it's just Genji isolated on the point and he just dies. But the one thing that needs to happen as well is after the Blizzard is about to finish, and you can very clearly hear when it is, put the wall here, so that Arita can't move onto it. So then it's just Hanzo getting onto the point, and then you can just kill the Hanzo. There's a good chance that Arita can't even make it onto the point, and the Hanzo doesn't even stand on it because he's Hanzo. This could just be happening regardless. The wall goes up eventually, and Hanzo doesn't stand on the point. You win. There you go. Again, against better teams, they will hopefully stand on the point. They won't Cloud9 it.
Welcome to Overwatch, mon chéri.
Hello, see you mine.
I feel like I get these every 3 weeks rather than every 4 Kappa.
Kappa. That might be true. I might secretly be running 3-week months, and that's how I earn all my fat dosh. That's how I earn all the money. Thanks for not giving up. Aww. Aww. Bless.
I might be a little overdressed for this place.
Poor Mei. Melting. Aww. I really like that smiley face. There's something about it that's just I find very cathartic. I don't know, it just looks so innocent to me. Okay, important thing to note, we do not have a Lucio. Okay, we don't have a Lucio, so we can't go and contest the high ground, so we make the right decision. Honestly, we're strong here in the low ground, so that's fine. Again, don't be afraid to wall this guy off. Like, you can see he's... Okay, definitely... We should be freezing him. So when he's done this, he's pretty much already stunned himself, and we just can confirm the kill. And rather than just right-clicking him, if we just freeze him, it gives Symmetra just the easiest time in the world to kill him. Gives you a free shield generator, effectively. And if you put... If instead of running in and right-clicking, you just try and put a wall behind him, get the kill, then there's no chance of anyone also saving him. There's just no chance of escaping. Just freeze the D.Va. Can't do anything. Pencil tool. Do this oval. That is D.Va's head hitbox. Just in case. Just in case, it's worth mentioning, this here is D.Va's head hitbox. This is what we're aiming for. We aim for this. And I can't tell you, you know, I can't say aim better and then expect you to do so, but it's worth mentioning that you had a split second where you could have just got rid of her in a single move. Oh! Okay. You've just confused the shit out of Symmetra. So I think, judging by the body language here, Symmetra is running off to go and put down her shield generator. Symmetra wants to go and place her shield gen, unless you're in voice comms with her and it's all muted. No, I can't hear it. But it's just like, this is not where I wanted to be. And then we get a free Lucio, and then Lucio's just... Can you imagine being that Lucio? Of just like, well, this is fucking terrible. That feels bad. Oh man, the Symmetra is having a good time, let's put it that way. She should definitely have an ultimate. We're doing the right thing as well. Again, this is actually a good position. So holding near these walls. If the D.Va tries to push in, we just freeze her. And if they try and push in, we just put a wall up. And we'll be quite nice and hunky-dory. And there we go. Let's get on the opposite side from the Hanzo, because the Hanzo's a little bit scary. This, I don't like. I don't understand why we're this far back. Like, if they run in now, it looks like they've gone Symmetra to counter Symmetra. Interesting. Ignore the blue beam. Try to, at least. Actually, let's go a frame forward so we don't have that in the way. There we go. So, you can see that we're doing the right thing. We're sort of predicting that we might need a wall here, okay? Which is, that's correct. We absolutely could use a wall there. The problem is this, if, let's say that someone runs through, and then someone gets trapped, we could probably kill them on their own, but it will be a little bit tricky. We have to land a couple of right clicks to do it. They could get a couple of shots off. That buys them a lot of time. If we're just stood here, or we're stood over here, or even if we're a little bit closer and like here, so we can see through and poke through, we are in a position now where we can A, threaten this, and B, threaten this. So if they all come this way, then we can just turn, and we're in good position as well. I'm drawing X's everywhere. We're in good position to go and deal with this threat and this threat. And where we are strong is where we can just left-click people. So we want to be in that position to do left-clicks on people. Where we are right now is we're in a position to right-click people. This is where I would be saying Soldier 76 should perhaps be standing. Where he's fighting from the mid-range, no one can really close in on him. They have to do it through going through open space, and therefore they're going to have a hard time. This is more 76 positioning. This is more mid-range. This is where you would be putting... yeah, I'd say 76 is definitely the best example. McCree would also want to be a bit closer. Rodog will want to be there. Winston will want to be over nearer their choke. He's just making it hard for them to do anything. Nice shot. Good follow-up. I'm perfectly fine with that, though. They've come in over the top. Let's try and get back into it. We should be ignoring the fire again. Oh, God, okay. So we have 3 threats. Well, we can split this apart. Honestly, I'd say the easiest thing to do would just be to drop a wall over here. Or it wouldn't quite look like that, I imagine. So basically turn it to horizontal line tool, turn this way, and then try and get a wall to just cut him off. So that it's just awkward for him to get on the point. Isolate these 2 targets, and you'll have an easier time. The reason why you don't want to try and isolate this is because we want to support the Hanzo somehow. We do want to be a little bit cautious of the Symmetra getting into our team, but we can help deal with that. Let's see how this plays out. Rogue throws a hook. Orisa gets him in the hole. It looks like we have a mouse issue. It's okay. This is not good. We have initiative at the moment where they've just lost one of the key DPS, and I'm aware that we might be a bit scared about our mouse problem, so we're trying to wall ourselves off, but all we're doing is buying them a little bit of time to recover and regroup. What we could have done now instead, for example, is put a wall behind the Symmetra, so that she can't go through this door, and then just advance on the Symmetra. That would sort of be more ideal, or we could isolate the D.Va and advance on the Symmetra. Like, we're trying to get kills at the moment. We want to be getting these kills. If we can demet the D.Va, superb, okay. Now would be now would be a fine time to do this, I think. Put a Blizzard here. They will have no chance to get the point. Maybe... The problem is this behavior suggests that Mercy has a res, so Mercy is hiding. Mercy might be dying at the moment as well. Looks like we get 1. Res in 2 seconds, res in 1 second, I'm sure. Is she gonna do it? No? Mercy? Mercy, are you okay? Mercy? Are you okay? Why would you be hiding if you don't have a rat? She had so many... Okay, if you're playing Mercy and you're going to hide, make sure you have Resurrect. Because if you don't, you are just not doing... You're throwing yourself off a cliff. You're doing... So I used to be in a 40-man raid guild, you know, back in the day when WoW. And in the 40-man raid guild, what you found was there will be a big chunk of the raid group usually. You know, you'd have damage meters, for example. You'd be looking at I think it was just damage meters or like Omen on the threat meters as well, and you'd be watching, and you'd always have like the same kind of people on the top, right? And you'd always have like the same people, and they'd usually be the really try-hardy people that sort of min-max the builds and get everything right and get everything like that done. And then you would have, even further down, if you scroll all the way down, there might be a couple of DPS, for example, who generally just always on the bottom, and those guys were always kind of the slackers. Then what happened is when it changed to 25-mans and 10-mans, well, those guys were freaking kicked instantly. I was always one of the, well, during Vanilla WoW, I was playing a warrior, so I was a tank, so it didn't really matter too much. But even when I was DPSing as Fury, I was still relatively high up. I was always a bit of a tryhard, so I was never kicked. And so, but it could kind of work, right? There were 40 people, so 1 or 2 people not contributing didn't get noticed too much. When there's 6 people fighting another 6 people, and 1 person isn't contributing, that's really fucking notable. So if you aren't doing anything during a fight, and honestly, we suffered from this a little bit in the first round. if we aren't doing anything, we are effectively dead. We are dead weight. The team is at that point in a 5 versus 6 situation. If we are not fighting optimally, then they're in a 5.5 versus 6 situation, all that kind of stuff. You want to try and be as active as possible to maximize the ability of your team, to make sure your team can do as much as they humanly can. Because if you don't, then the raid guild collapses because people just shout at each other and no one's doing anything anymore and no one has fun and drama, whatever. So we want to be very careful about being active. This blizzard I am okay with. Looks like mouse issues. Again, this blizzard is basically the fight ender. It's okay. Nice shot. They now have a widow. Good block. This block, actually we could have been a little bit more patient with this one, I think. There's no harm in just taking the... Like, if we're tucked in here, and especially with D.Va's defense matrixing here, we are not worried about the widow. So if we just take our time, make sure the wall's in position, they can't run through, we probably win this regardless. There might be a crack there that they can just get through, and if they can, then it can cause problems. So that little optimization would be quite nice. But it was weird, because it was one of those matches, especially in the second round, where it looked like you guys were going to get stomped, and then it turns into a 3-0, but it wasn't a close game. Play of the game goes to Arisa, apparently. Okay. You just got to stand there and machine gun stuff. Ah. Look at that objective time. Honestly, this is probably a good stat for me to be high on. Like, you want to be standing on objectives and controlling space. In general, especially on like King of the Hill, it will be a very powerful place. On like Hanamura, for example, it'll be a little bit trickier. Now we're going to start taking questions for about half an hour, and that should be pretty good. So if you want to start asking questions, now would absolutely be a good time to start doing so while I load up Overwatch so we can do stuff in the background.